Okay, let's just dive right in, shall we? Procrastination. Ugh, it's this constant, frustrating battle for so many of us, right? That nagging voice in your head that you should be doing that one big thing, but you just can't. It feels like a fight we're always losing. But what if I told you the secret to winning wasn't to stop procrastinating, but to get better at it? Does this look a little familiar? Yeah. That one super important task just buried under an absolute avalanche of everything else. This feeling, this chaos, this is the exact problem we're going to untangle today. So check this out. Philosopher John R. Perry came up with this pretty wild idea. He basically says the key to being super productive isn't to somehow magically stop procrastinating. Nope, it's to learn how to do it well. I know, it sounds completely backward, but stick with me because this might just be the breakthrough you've been looking for. All right, so how in the world does this actually work? The whole idea is to completely reframe what procrastination is. It's not laziness, it's not a character flaw. It's actually a pretty powerful source of energy, if you know how to harness it. And this is the secret sauce, structured procrastination. It's built on a really simple truth about people who procrastinate. We're almost never doing absolutely nothing. We're busy, we're alphabetizing our spice rack, answering emails from 2017. You know the drill. Anything to avoid that one big, scary task. This strategy just cleverly channels all that avoidance energy into other useful things. The method itself is just brilliantly simple. Here's how it works. First, you put a task at the very top of your to-do list that feels huge, important, and kinda terrifying. It could even have a made-up deadline, doesn't matter. Then, you fill out the rest of the list with other smaller but still valuable things you need to get done. Your brain, in its desperate attempt to avoid that monster at the top, will happily, eagerly tackle everything else. And boom, you're getting stuff done. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's not about being lazy. It's about redirecting that incredibly powerful urge to delay into actual, real accomplishments. You're basically tricking yourself into being productive. It's a beautiful thing. But to really get good at this, we have to go a little deeper. We need to understand the root cause. I mean, why do we avoid that big task so much in the first place? And this leads us to a really fascinating psychological insight. And here it is. This is the key. The real force that paralyzes so many of us isn't laziness at all. It's perfectionism. It's this hidden, totally unrealistic expectation that whatever we create has to be absolutely flawless right out of the gate. Just look at the difference here. On the left, that's the perfectionist fantasy. I mean, who could possibly start a project with that much pressure? It's a recipe for never starting. But the reality on the right, I'll start with a messy first draft. That's doable. That gives you permission to just begin. So the antidote to all this is embracing the idea of good enough. The author calls this task triage, and it's all about recognizing that an adequate job that actually gets done is infinitely better than a perfect job that never even gets started. The goal is progress, not perfection. Okay, theory is great, but let's get practical. How can you put this into action, like right now? We need a toolkit built specifically for the procrastinator's brain. Believe it or not, your single most powerful weapon in this fight is the humble to-do list. But hold on, not just any old list. A regular to-do list can feel like a catalog of your failures by 5 p.m. We need to weaponize it. We need to turn it into an engine for psychological momentum. This is what's called a defensive to-do list. You make it the night before. You load it up with super easy wins. I'm talking make coffee, so you can start your day by immediately checking something off. You break those big projects down into ridiculously small steps. And my personal favorite part, you add do not items. You literally write down, do not check Twitter or don't Google Meg Ryan. You anticipate your own distractions. This really captures the whole philosophy, doesn't it? You don't conquer the mountain in a single jump. You do it by taking one small, manageable step after another. In other words, you just keep breaking the task down and down and down until the next step is so tiny, so non-threatening, that it's actually easier to just do it than to think about avoiding it. And that, my friends, is how you build momentum. So let's pull all these threads together. What does this mean for how we see ourselves, how we see our habits? It's a pretty massive shift in perspective when you think about it. The biggest takeaway here is this: stop beating yourself up. Seriously, procrastination is not a moral failing. It's just a part of our wiring. The goal isn't to kill it, because you probably can't. The goal is to understand it and then to cleverly channel its energy into something useful.
And that really leaves us with one final, kind of exciting thought. Instead of always asking, how do I stop procrastinating? Maybe the better question is the one right here. By cleverly putting off that one enormous thing, what other amazing, useful, incredible things could you finally get done?